Are you ready to unleash your inner scream queen or king? Because today we're diving headfirst into the gloriously terrifying world of creature features. That's right, folks. We're counting down my top 10 favorite movies with creatures that'll have you sleeping with the lights on, or maybe cheering them on. Who knows? Get ready for some killer effects, epic monster mayhem, and maybe even a few cheesy laughs along the way. So grab your popcorn, make your way to your seat, and let's get this creature feature countdown started on this episode of Ranking Rumble. Welcome back to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer. Creature features are horror or science fiction movies that center around a terrifying or awe-inspiring creature as the main antagonist, or sometimes even the protagonist. Think giant monsters, rampaging beasts, or strange alien life forms. They often have special effects that may be cheesy by today's standards, but that's kind of just part of the charm. Now, there are some movies that I'm purposely leaving off this list, like the Universal monster movies. They have their own ranking videos, so go check that out. Mainly, what I want to focus on are the movies that play on our phobias and our anxieties. Look, the subgenre is very expansive, so if I don't mention your favorite, it's okay. Just put it down in the comments. And it doesn't mean that I don't like those movies. It just means that I chose to focus on other ones for this video. But with that being said, let's slither our way down to the ring and get this ranking rumble started. Starting us off at number 10 is The Fly, released in 1986. Directed by David Cronenberg, this film takes you on a grotesque journey of scientific ambition gone wrong. Jeff Goldblum stars as Seth Brundle, a brilliant but eccentric scientist who invents a teleportation device. In a rush to showcase his invention, Seth performs a self-experiment, unaware that a common housefly has entered the machine with him. The machine malfunctions, fusing Seth's DNA with the fly's. As the film progresses, Seth undergoes a horrifying transformation into a man-fly hybrid, his body contorting and decaying with each passing moment. The special effects, which won an Academy Award, are a gruesome highlight showcasing the physical toll of Seth's metamorphosis. Gripping and disturbing, The Fly explores the dangers of scientific overreach and the consequences of tampering with the natural order. Next up at number 9 is Arachnophobia, released in 1990. This film injects humor into the classic fear of spiders. Directed by Frank Marshall, the film follows Ross Jennings, played by Jeff Daniels. He's a doctor with a paralyzing fear of spiders who relocates with his family to a quaint Californian town. Their idyllic new life takes a terrifying turn when a deadly species of South American spider hitches a ride in a coffin and unleashes its offspring upon the unsuspecting town. Ross, along with the help of eccentric exterminator Delbert McClintock, played by John Goodman, they must confront his phobia and find a way to stop the rapidly multiplying spider population. Think creepy crawlies with a side of laughs, as the film uses both scares and comedic situations to explore Ross's phobia and the escalating spider crisis. Arachnophobia might make you look at spiders a little differently, but it'll also have you kind of chuckling in between the screams. Up next at number 8 is Cujo, released in 1983. Based on a Stephen King novel, this movie turns man's best friend into a terrifying nightmare. The story centers on a seemingly harmless Saint Bernard named Cujo, who becomes infected with rabies after being bitten by a bat. Cujo's friendly demeanor takes a horrific turn as the rabies consumes him, transforming him into a rabid and aggressive beast. The film focuses on Donna and her son Tad, who become trapped in their car on a hot summer day. Their car breaks down on the property of the family who owns Cujo, and as Donna tries to get help, Cujo descends into a murderous frenzy. Trapped with limited resources and a crazed Saint Bernard outside, Donna must fight for survival and protect her son in a desperate struggle for life. Cujo is a suspenseful and frightening tale that explores the vulnerability of being trapped and the terrifying potential of a familiar animal turned monstrous. Number 7 in this ranking rumble is Anaconda, released in 1997. Jennifer Lopez leads a documentary film crew venturing deep into the rainforest in search of a lost civilization. Their mission takes a sharp turn when they encounter a ruthless poacher played by Jon Voight, who's obsessed with capturing a legendary monstrous green anaconda. The crew soon finds themselves tangled in the poacher's web of deceit, becoming unwilling participants in his hunt. As they navigate the treacherous jungle, they face the ever-present threat of the gigantic anaconda, a force of nature with an appetite for humans. The film blends action sequences with moments of suspense as the characters fight for survival against the massive snake and the dangers of the rainforest. Anaconda is a cheesy cult classic that offers a fun, albeit not so realistic adventure flick with a healthy dose of B-movie charm. Look, I know it's not great, but I love it for some reason. Coming in at number 6 is Lake Placid, released in 1999. Lake Placid isn't your typical horror movie. It dives, pun intended, headfirst into the realm of comedic horror, serving up a campy monster mash with a side of laughs, sometimes even unintentionally. The story unfolds in the fictional town of Lake Placid, Maine, where a giant crocodile with a taste for terrorizing locals starts making a splash. Sheriff Hancock assembles an unlikely team to tackle the beast. We've got paleontologist Kelly Scott with her scientific expertise, Fish and Game Officer Jack Wells with his outdoorsy know-how, and cranky old crocodile enthusiast Hector Sear adding some eccentric charm. As the group investigates the mysterious crocodile attacks, things get bloody and hilarious. Expect over-the-top creature effects, goofy one-liners, and a good dose of slapstick humor. Think Jaws meets Weekend at Bernie's with a dash of the X-Files, all wrapped up in a cheesy, entertaining package. This is another movie that's not really good per se, but it's a good bit of mindless fun. By the way, don't forget to body slam that subscribe button so you never miss any of the heart-pounding, chill-inducing 5-star matches we have here. We're not just wrestling with horror. We're delivering it to your screen every week. Our number 5 entrant is Piranha, released in 1978. No, I'm not talking about the 1995 remake or the 2010 remake. I'm talking about the original, directed by Joe Dante. The story kicks off when a military experiment involving genetically modified, super aggressive piranhas goes awry. These razor-toothed terrors are accidentally released into a nearby river, leading them straight to a popular vacation spot teeming with unsuspecting tourists. As the body count rises and the piranha multiply, a ragtag group including a skip tracer, a local drunk, and a grumpy resort owner scramble to stop the carnage. Expect over-the-top gore, cheesy special effects, and plenty of dark humor as the piranha turn the resort into a feeding frenzy. Piranha is a fun watch for those who enjoy horror with a healthy dose of camp. If you're looking for a serious scare, this might not be your movie. But if you crave piranha-fueled mayhem and cheesy laughs, then Piranha is the perfect summer shocker for you. Obviously, this is a ripoff of Jaws, but I think it's the best movie that fits into that category. Coming in at number 4 is The Killer Shrews, released in 1959. Hold on to your hats for this B-movie sci-fi horror that's as campy as it is creepy. This low-budget gem throws a group of unsuspecting characters on a collision course with giant man-eating shrews. The story follows Captain Thorne Sherman, who delivers supplies to a remote island research facility. There, he encounters a group led by the eccentric scientist Dr. Marlowe. Dr. Marlowe's experiments have backfired spectacularly, resulting in the creation of monstrous, ravenous shrews. As a hurricane traps everyone on the island, the shrews become the real threat. These oversized rodents with a taste for human flesh wreak havoc, picking off the island's inhabitants one by one. With limited resources and nowhere to run, the remaining survivors must find a way to outsmart and outrun the Killer Shrews. The Killer Shrews is a popcorn flick through and through. Don't expect groundbreaking special effects or a deep plot. But if you're looking for some cheesy fun with giant shrews as the villains, this movie delivers in spades. So if you enjoy a good dose of sci-fi schlock with a dash of unintentional humor, then The Killer Shrews might just be your new favorite cult classic. At number 3, we have The Birds, released in 1963. This Hitchcock classic weaves a chilling tale of a seemingly idyllic California town under siege by nature gone mad. The story follows Melanie Daniels, a socialite who follows a charming lawyer, Mitch Brenner, to his hometown of Bodega Bay. What starts as a whimsical visit takes a dark turn as inexplicable attacks by crows, gulls, and other birds begin to terrorize the townspeople. The violence escalates, leaving a trail of destruction and paranoia in its wake. The film masterfully builds suspense without ever fully explaining the reason behind the avian aggression. Hitchcock's signature style shines through in The Birds, utilizing innovative special effects to create a believable and terrifying onslaught. The film remains a classic of the genre, showcasing the director's genius for building dread and exploring the primal fear of nature's raw power. Our number 2 entrant is Jaws, released in 1975. What more can I say about this movie that hasn't been said before? Known as the first summer blockbuster, this film tells the story of a charming summer resort town, Amity Island, suddenly terrorized by a massive great white shark. Chief Martin Brody finds himself at odds with the town's profit-driven mayor, who prioritizes tourism over beachgoers' safety. Against his better judgment, Brody is forced to reopen the beaches. Fueled by a desire to protect his community, Brody teams up with an eccentric marine biologist named Matt Hooper and a seasoned shark hunter named Quint. Venturing far out to sea on Quint's fishing boat, the Orca, the trio becomes determined to hunt down the killer shark. This movie is the reason I don't go in the ocean, so obviously it's had a lasting impact on me. I would say this film is nearly perfect, and it's one of those that should never ever be remade. There were a ton of imitators and copycats, but none of them could ever come close to reaching the heights of Spielberg's classic. Alright, it is time for our final entrant in this ranking rumble, and let's just get right to it. My favorite creature feature of all time is Tremors, released in 1990. This movie is just pure nostalgia for me. I remember watching it with my mom when I was a kid, and I still love it to this day. It follows two weary handymen, Val and Earl, played by Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. They're yearning to escape their sleepy little Nevada town of perfection. Their plans are derailed by a series of mysterious deaths, and then they uncover the culprit. Giant subterranean worm-like creatures with a taste for human flesh. These monstrous graboids, as they're dubbed, hunt by sensing vibrations in the ground.
They sense the slightest vibration through the ground, even footsteps. That's how they hunt.
Hey, so like we don't vibrate, right?
The unlikely heroes, along with some of Perfection's more eccentric residents, must use their ingenuity and grit to outsmart and ultimately defeat the graboids. Tremors is known for its fun and action-packed plot, showcasing the resourcefulness of the protagonists against seemingly impossible odds. The film features practical effects that bring graboids to life in a way that's both terrifying and thrilling. With its blend of humor and horror, Tremors offers a unique and entertaining monster movie experience. I understand that this is not a masterpiece of cinema. I even get why some people might not like this movie so much, but to me, it's perfection. But that is going to wrap up this episode of Ranking Rumble. If you enjoyed this look at some monstrous movies, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the action. And remember, in the squared circle of horror, there's no count out for nightmares. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.